Let's be honest, we don't know anything about our elected officials. They're hidden behind curated social media profiles and press releases to the point that they often seem barely human. We're here to break down those barriers and get under the hood of their real character. Our guest today is Ashley Bennett, a freeholder in Atlantic County. My name is Scott Salmon, and this is Politically Driven. Taylor ham or pork roll?
Pork roll.
Okay. I'm a Taylor ham guy.
Okay,
But-
so North Jersey, like...
Well, you're going to hate me even more. I'm Central Jersey, which is a thing.
It is a thing. I went to school at Rutgers. It's a
Oh,
thing.
okay.
You know, and I kind of would qualify it by, like, Wawa. So Wawa is a South Jersey thing.
That's definitely true, yes.
Like, Central Jersey is like a Quick Check.
Absolutely.
And then I noticed that, like, when I would go North Jersey, I would see a lot of 7-Elevens.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, we got them everywhere.
And I'm like, give me my Wawa. But I love Atlantic County. And one of the things that, like, it's so cool is that, like, you travel the whole of Atlantic County, and you've got everything here.
Mm-hmm.
So you have, like, your city, to your suburb, your beaches, to your blueberry fields. Like, you have everything. So, like,
It gives you a little... What is something not political that you have an unreasonably strong opinion about?
Okay. Mental health and opioid epidemic.
Okay.
Access to mental health care is a big one for me in terms of resources. So I get the unique experience of living and governing in Atlantic County, but working in Cape May County.
Mm-hmm.
So the challenges in terms of accessing providers, accessing inpatient treatment for the mental health population in the southern region is difficult. Mm-hmm. And so there's way more of a population than what people know. Mm-hmm. And so in the summertime, we have a spike in crisis, and trying to get people to inpatient treatment is difficult.
Yeah, I'm sure under the best of situations.
That's like the nicest word I could use for that. And so often these are people who end up having to wait in emergency rooms for beds to become available. And it's not appropriate. Like, we need more services. And we need better access, and that access, like, the services we have need to be streamlined, and it needs to be easier to access care. And so, like, I'm really, like, I get so mad.
Well, that's the thing. I don't. My question was, is saying you have an unreasonably strong opinion about it. That seems all pretty reasonable to me.
It is reasonable, but sometimes if you see me at work, I get real mad. Like, especially, like, if I get a, like, trying to access VA services on an inpatient basis. If I get any type of, like, pushback or what I feel is kind of like, all right, this is taking longer than it absolutely should to get this person care and get this person into the appropriate setting, I get really mad. I'm like, why is this even happening? I'm like, it's not okay.
So what was the first campaign that you remember working on or being involved in?
No, I wasn't involved in any campaigns.
Really? Until you decided to run? That was... Oh, okay, that's interesting. I didn't realize that.
But, like, I always voted.
Yeah.
But I never was...
Sure, no, most people don't, so that's not... Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, and I always... Like, now I think back, I'm like, why didn't I get involved?
Yeah. But it's okay, so then you must have had an even... It's always a hard transition for anyone to do their first campaign. Like I said, I worked on campaigns before, and it was incredibly tough for me. I know people who have been in campaigns and just going for re-election. It's still tough to get back into the swing of things.
Right.
I know people who have been like campaign manager and things like that, or worked as chief of staff, and it's still hard for them to actually run the campaign.
Yes.
What was that? What did you think it was going to be like?
I knew it was gonna be, like, difficult. I didn't expect it to be as difficult as it was.
Like physically or like mentally or
mentally? Both. Like, because at the time I was, a full-time grad student working on my second and third master's, so I was, like, all into the school, like, tunnel vision. And I'm like, oh, yeah, you gotta knock on doors, and I'm like, how many doors you got to knock? Wait, what? How is that possible?
How many thousands of doors do we have to knock on? Yeah.
Yeah, how's that possible?
Yeah.
and there's events and all this stuff. I was like, do people work?
Yeah.
You know?
Which is...
Like, are you able to work?
I remember someone once asked me, like, is a member of the state legislature, is that a part-time job or a full-time? I'm like, well, technically,
yes.
Technically it's a part-time job. But
right.
It's really a full-time. I think that's true of most.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Even if you're certainly the mayor of, like, Atlantic City, but even if you're mayor of a small town.
A person who, one of the labor union people came up to me, and was like, Ashley Bennett, right? You won. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he's like, you took both towns, you won. And so then everybody else heard him say that, so everybody started crying around me, and the vote wasn't even fully tallied yet. So at this point I had, like, literally, when you have no words. Yeah. And they're like, is she going to pass out? And I'm, like, sitting there. They're like, she may pass out.
Do you remember what your first coherent thought was?
Oh, seriously?
What about your family down in South Carolina? Were they a political family?
No.
No? Like, at all?
Well, my one great aunt was. Like, she liked to work on people's campaigns, and, she's active in her community. Even now, like, she's in her, like, mid to late 80s, still
That's
teaching
awesome.
special education.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And so she calls me every now and then to want to talk about, like, politics. And, like, she's like, okay, so when
you can't get out of that conversation.
No,
especially you now. Now that you're elected, you can't get out of that
totally
conversation.
Can't. And she's like, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna call everybody, and make sure that everybody knows to take somebody to vote, and that's how we're gonna get you reelected. I'm like,
I just won. We're doing this already.
We're so far from that
really?
now. Yeah.
Oh,
so
man.
she'll call, and then she wants to talk for, like, her strategy.
she wants to know the war plan.
Yes.
I like it. You also like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
I do like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
I am a huge fan of the Fresh.
Oh my
Well,
gosh.
let me qualify that, put an asterisk on it. I like the I'm forgetting the name of the actress that plays his mother, Viv.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes.
What's the name of the actress? Anyway, I consider the first Aunt Viv to be the real Aunt Viv.
Yes. I agree.
Do you have an opinion on that?
I like them both.
Okay.
But, like, sometimes, like, the first Aunt Viv.
Yeah.
She just, like, when she says something, I'm like, yes, that's Aunt Viv right there. She's letting you know.
Yeah, exactly. She is. Yeah, she's. You know what? The second Aunt Viv, I think, if the first one didn't exist, she would be perfect.
Yes.
But because the first one, you couldn't. I don't think anyone could do it better.
No, I agree. I like her. I love watching it still.
So what's your earliest political memory?
Oh gosh, my earliest political memory.
For me, it's Bush v. Gore. That's the first political thing I remember.
Oh wow. I'm going back to, as a kid, the Clinton scandal.
Okay.
I remember that. So that was my first one.
Did you realize, like, did you understand what was going on?
I did not.
You just knew that there was something going on.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, but he lied, and they're impeaching him. And I just remember
I don't think your parents were telling you what he lied about.
Yeah, I didn't get it. So I am a crisis screener. It's like, I do the psychiatric commitments in the emergency room.
Oh, interesting.
Yes. So anyone who comes in who's potentially a danger to self or others, then I get to see them and get to make a decision whether they are safe to be out in the community or whether we're going to refer them for inpatient treatment or link them with outpatient treatment. And so I've seen quite a bit in life.
I'm sure.
Yes.
Who makes it? Does the decision? The doctor make that decision?
Sometimes it's the ER doctor puts in the consult, and then we do the assessment.
Okay.
And then what we'll do is some people, if they decide to go voluntary, we'll refer them without the need of, like, a psychiatrist or a doctor.
Okay.
But if they're, like, not willing to go,
which I'm going to guess that happens pretty
yeah.
frequently.
There was one time, I'm pretty good at getting people to give me information.
Sure.
And there was one time, as I'm doing the assessment, I kind of know now that, we're going to be hospitalized because you, like, admitted stuff to me, like, in direct quotes. And so I said, okay, so what's going to happen now is you're going to go to the hospital. And then the person got really upset and threw a chair at me.
A chair? Was it a big chair? We talking small chair?
It was a pretty big chair, and I ducked and I was like, Rude.
Rude. That's the appropriate response there.
Yes.
What is your spirit animal?
Oh gosh. Oh, my spirit animal.
And this one can't be a golden girl.
Okay, it can't be a golden girl. Oh man. It would be like.
I feel like you've thought a little bit about this, but not enough that you've like pinned down an answer.
Yeah, because I feel like I have two.
Okay, let's hear them.
I feel like it's like a cat, like a domestic cat, because like they literally just do what they want.
That's
and
fair. Yeah.
They're just like, oh well. Like
I'm gonna run for office.
Like, and then they'll just be like, I love you, like today, and like tomorrow they're like, no.
Pass.
That's a strong no for me. And so I feel like they just do what they want.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. What's the second one?
The second one I would say is like a lioness.
Okay.
Because like they are regal and they know that like he's the king of the jungle, but you know who's really ruling.
Right.
You know, you're just like
behind every lion is a strong lioness.
Yes.